U.S. President Donald Trump's recent call with Russian President Vladimir Putin has shocked Kyiv and its European allies. They fear the White House might make a deal to end the war between Russia and Ukraine without them, after Trump announced Kyiv won't get all of its land back or join NATO.
Any quick fix is a dirty deal.
This is European Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas.
It is clear that any deal behind our backs will not work. Any agreement will need also Ukraine and Europe being part of it, and this is clear that appeasement also always fails.
She and other European officials have denounced the apparent concessions offered by Trump in advance. But U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Thursday rejected criticism of Washington's negotiation strategy.
But simply pointing out realism, like the borders won't be rolled back to what everybody would like them to be in 2014, is not a concession to Vladimir Putin.
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Piskov said Thursday that Ukraine would of course be involved in talks to end the war, but there would be a separate U.S.-Russian strand to the negotiations. His comments were unlikely to reassure Kyiv or alleviate the concerns of European governments. Here's Lithuanian Defense Minister Dovile, who is attending NATO meetings in Brussels.
Whether we decide to fall under the illusion that Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin are going to find a solution for all of us, and that would be a deadly trap. Or we will, as Europe, embrace our own economic, financial, and military capacity, and we will be the ones who will be deciding what will happen in Europe and in Ukraine with the United States.
A European diplomatic source said ministers had agreed to engage in a frank and demanding dialogue with U.S. officials, some of the strongest language in the diplomatic lexicon, at the annual Munich Security Conference beginning on Friday.
We're spending the money against each other.
At the same time, we had a very good conversation with President Putin yesterday, and we also had a very good conversation. I did in both cases with President Zelensky, and I think we're going to be able to do something. I think we're going to be able to make a deal, and I hope so, because it's a horrible war. It's a very terrible, bloody war with 1.5 million soldiers at least already dead on the battlefield, lying all over the fields like nobody's ever seen anything like it certainly since the Second World War. And so I think we're going to be able to do something. We're working with President Zelensky and with President Putin. And my impression is that I know that President Zelensky wants to make a deal. And I also feel that I know that President Putin wants to make a deal. I wanted to know that before I began any detailed discussions. If a better deal can be negotiated, if they're able to make a deal where they can do that, that's fine with me. I really don't care. I want that bloodshed to stop. I don't want to see, we have an ocean between us and the site we're talking about, the site of death. We're calling it the fields of death. We have a big ocean in between us. This is more important for Europe. We shouldn't be in. They have to equalize, and they're going to have to do it fast, but they have to equalize. But as far as the negotiation, it's too early to say what's going to happen. Maybe Russia will give up a lot. Maybe they won't. And it's all dependent on what is going to happen. The negotiation really hasn't started. But I will say, as far as NATO is concerned, from many years before President Putin, I will tell you that I've heard that Russia would never accept that. And I think Ukraine knew that, because Ukraine wasn't in and never requested to be in until more recently. So that's the way it is. And I think that's the way it's going to have to be.
Your seat.
Yeah,